Welcome to my new little recording area, my little nook. Okay, today we're going to talk about Australia. We're going to delve into the huge area that it is. Australia has a huge, diverse wine landscape. It's got regions spanning a huge continent that ranges from cool climate coastal areas to hot, dry inland plains. Often wine lovers will associate it with high quality, big, bold, spicy Shiraz, such as Barossa Valley Shirazes or McLaren Vale Shirazes like this. Others, unfortunately, will associate it with poor quality, cheap, often over-oaked Chardonnay they had at a wedding years ago. I don't have any of that. To understand why some wines are labelled simply South Australia or Western Australia or Southeastern Australia, even vaguer, and it can cause implications on the quality of the wine, not always. We need to look at how Australia has its wine region structured. So let's delve into that now and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Australia follows a system called geographical indicators, or GIs. Okay, it's similar to France's AOCs or Italy's DOCs, but a bit more flexible. Now, these are layered, and this is where it can get a bit more confusing. So we have firstly states. So I'll put the map up here. You'll see the states, the broad areas covering huge swaths of land. So you've got Western Australia, South Australia, and New South Wales. Now zones, moving in a bit, these are areas such as Barossa, not Barossa Valley, Barossa. This encompasses Barossa Valley and Eden Valley. Okay, then we move on to regions, and more specific, often tied to a distinctive climate or soil identity, such as Barossa Valley, Clare Valley, and Eden Valley. Just so many bloody valleys. I don't know why. I thought it's quite flat. Anyway, sub-regions, smaller, even more highly specific places like High Eden in Eden Valley. I mean, just get a bit silly. I mean, check this out. This is how layered it can go. Lenswood in the region of Adelaide, in the zone of the Mont Lofty Ranges, in the zone of Australia, also in the GI that could be used, southeastern Australia. I mean, it's like Russian dolls over there. It's mad. Just remember, the more precise the GI label, the more likely the wine will reflect its unique terroir and more to the point, the quality of that land. The big powerhouse for Australia is South Australia. Now, this zone produces about half of the country's wine. So it produces about half of the country's wine in Australia. Many of its best known regions are located there, which some of you will have heard of quite a few of them. So let's break it down and have a look at some of these. So one you'll have heard of is Barossa Valley. Famous, powerful Shiraz, Grenache and Merlot, which is Madeira. It's warm Mediterranean climate, which rich red soils, and it's home to many old bush vines, which you'll often see mentioned on the back of a label. It produces concentrated fruits with intense flavour profiles, and the white over there is mainly Semillon, increasingly made in quite a fresh, unoaked style. A lot of you 60s people will be happy to know. Eden Valley. Okay, so this is a cooler, higher altitude. It's located in the hills to the east of the Barossa Valley, and it's excellent for Riesling. Okay, the lime and grapefruit led age into stunning wines with like kind of marmalade and complex toasty aromas, and gorgeous, honestly, really nice. The region produces really nice Shirazes. Shiraz, the plural. I think it's Shiraz. Anyway, we'll go with Shiraz. And they're really nice too. Clare Valley. So Clare Valley, well known for its Rieslings again. High altitude, about 300 or 400 metres high, some often going up to 570 metres. So it's similar to Eden Valley, it does produce great Rieslings. They tend to be a bit more citrusy and limey led. The Shiraz from there are varying styles, but the best can be of great aging potential because it maintains its acidity. Because it's a combination of the warm days and the cool nights, allow a great diurnal range. Now, quick recap for those who don't know. But diurnal range, that difference. Warm day, cool night, a big difference in temperature is called diurnal range. It's great because the grape gets to fully ripen through the day, but it cools it down and slows it down enough to retain its acidity and its freshness. That's what gives wines aging potential and a more balanced style. Okay, moving on. McLaren Vale, coastal Mediterranean climate with afternoon breezes from a nearby ocean, and it's easy as that warm climate. It produces Shiraz and Cabernet Sauvignon as well, Merlot and also Grenache, all with intense dark fruit, but with soft kind of ripe tannins, really nice reds from there, really approachable. Coonawarra, an excellent name. Coonawarra, what an excellent name. Famous for its red soils, its terra rossa soils. It's a kind of red clay with a bit of silt. I'll show you a picture here. The Cabernet Sauvignon is what is known for over in Coonawarra. Notes of eucalyptus or mentholy aromas and big backbone of cassis, that big berry flavour there. Beautiful wines. Adelaide Hills, moderate climate, specialising in Sauvignon Blanc, elegant Chardonnay, high acidity, pronounced citrus fruit with bits of peach in there as well. Pinot Noir is also done over here and often used to blend with Chardonnay for its sparkling wine production as well. Riverland, slightly different here. Hot inland region, has irrigation allowed to support its intensive horticulture and viticultural production because it's just too hot and dry of a climate with such low rainfall. It couldn't support growth over there. So it does have very high yields and it's normally associated with bulk production. Moving out to South Australia and travelling southeast down to Victoria, so the far bottom right of Australia, and we have a well-known place there called Yarra Valley. So it's generally a cool maritime climate, but it does have a diverse range of altitudes and aspects. It's renowned mainly for its elegant Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, with some excellent cool climate sparkling wines as well. Mornington Peninsula is there as well. Maritime climate, again, similar to Yarra Valley. Again, the Pinot Noir and Chardonnay do well, but there's varying vintages due to the high chance of a cool, wet, windy weather coming at flowering, which can give some very poor vintages, unfortunately. Heathcote, located right in the centre of Victoria, much further inland than Yarra Valley and Mornington Peninsula. So the cooling influences come from the altitude rather than the cooling ocean breezes in the other places I mentioned. Shiraz, firmer structure produced here, fresher fruit flavours than those in the warmer areas. If we drop south, just over a little bit of water, we go to the island of Tasmania. Now we get a cool maritime climate here. It used to be the main source of just base wine for Australia's sparkling wines, but it's since proved it can produce some excellent quality still wines. The Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Gris do really well here. Pinot Gris being the Pinot Grigio outside of Italy, normally made in a more structured and higher quality profile than a lot of the easy drinking Italians. New South Wales, okay, so it's become the longest longest history, the oldest history of wine production in Australia, okay. Here we have Hunter Valley wine region, so it's a hot, humid climate, but the high cloud cover often helps in the peak of summer just ease it a little bit. The region suffers from unsettled rainy weather at harvest, so growers will often use canopy management techniques to minimise the risk of rot, and that's kind of covering, using the leaves over the grapes to kind of cover and allow airflow in as well. Semillon is the main planted white grape over there, light body, low alcohol but high acidity. Chardonnay is followed there with unoaked and oak styles, and Shiraz is the red of choice with a medium body, soft tannins, with fruit flavours but a nice earthy undertone, which I am particularly partial to. If we move west, we get to, well, nothing surprises you there, Western Australia. The fruit of wine can be blended here among these regions and labelled as Western Australia, and that is quite common practice. It's the only wine that is out of the super zone, which we call southeastern Australia. Here we have Margaret River, which is a high quality producing region, a warm Mediterranean climate, high rainfall compared to the others, but luckily it normally and mainly falls in winter, unlike England. Bordeaux style blends of Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot will dominate here, with rich, powerful styles over to light, elegant styles and restrained ones. Chardonnay is the likely choice, giving wonderful stone fruit led wines here, with a bit of oaking, subtle oaking and malactic conversion, giving a nice buttery creaminess and complexity to the wines. Sauvignon Blanc is also done here, often blended with Semillon, giving wines a gooseberry and tropical fruit flavour. So if you're a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc lover, you may want to take a look at these wines, because I think they may just tickle your fancy. Over time, the region just below has opened to wine production. So the southern region, it is labelled, and it includes sub-regions such as Mont, Baker and Frankland. And these produce deeply coloured Cabernet Sauvignons with elegant peppery Shirazes and quite floral Rieslings there. So do keep an eye out for those regions there. Be cautious of the vague super zone labelling. At the end of the day, Australia's landmass is similar to the USA. I mean, it's larger than that of Europe. So if a location is vague, then it's like finding a needle in a haystack. It's so vast. So when a wine bottle is labelled simply as South Australia, rather than a specific region like McLaren Vale, it usually means that the grapes are blended from multiple sources across the state. For example, you could have fruit from the premium Barossa Valley vineyards, and it could be mixed with bulk fruit from Riverland, which we mentioned earlier, the really hot area with irrigation being permitted and big yields. The terroir character, the region's style is often lost this way. It's often an indicator of bulk or entry-level wines. Now, when I say this, it's not a bad thing. You know, this is a wine here. Here's South Australia. It's a lovely example of a South Australian wine. I really enjoy it, and it's still not poor quality. So this is not a blanket statement. I'm saying just be cautious. Look into it, you know. Basically, Australia is bloody massive, and you just need to look around a little bit because there's loads of wines coming from there. But the best ones are stunning, and it is very much my styles. So don't be put off by the vastness. Take a deep into Australia and just try all sorts of different ones. Anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. Until the next time, enjoy your wine.